All right, in this episode, we talk about driving the front leg.
And if you're soft, you're never gonna do it.
All right, Brent Porcio, Stephen Godani here at the @TopVelocity #PitchingTips show, where you go to Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and you ask your question to us on anything on pitching, anything we do here, Top Velocity, and put @TopVelocity #PitchingTips, and we ask it, or we answer it here on the show. And right now we're here at LSU at Alex Box Stadium to watch Adam Garcia pitch for the Louisiana Knights. So a big shout out goes to the Louisiana Knights. So what's our question for today? Dakota asks, hey Brent, at what point exactly in the delivery do high velocity pitchers lock their hips out and create hip extension? He also asks, when the lead leg locks out after front foot strike and hips fully open, like what point are they locking the front leg and how? All right, that's a good question. It's really trying to understand the front leg. So how does the front leg work? Well, we have to stabilize the front leg first, and studies show high velocity pitchers land actually with more flexion in the front leg than extension when they land. But they do then go into more extension before pitch release. Wow, big hit there. So a lot of guys say, how to first I stabilize the front leg, okay? Stabilizing the front leg is contributed by, of course, the ability to stop your momentum. So that's power. Okay, and it's not just strength. You can have the strength to hold the load, but if you don't do it quick enough, then you have movement, and we can't have any flexion in the knees. So you have to have the power to stop the front leg. And number two, if you have some hip rotation moving at the point of front foot strike, that supports the front leg stabilization as well. And how that works is, if you look at your hips, okay, the front hip is obviously ahead of the back hip, but there is rotation beginning going into front foot strike. So in that rotation, the back hip is coming forward, the front hip is coming back, and by the front hip coming back, it's actually pulling the knee back into the ankle, so that creates extension in its own, right? Almost got hit by a foul ball. So first of all, if you can get your hip rotation going, see, a lot of guys will go through their drives and they won't get any hip rotation going, and that's going to cause a problem, because then you're going to have all your momentum literally pushing into your front hip, as opposed to that momentum going in with rotation supporting the stabilization of the front leg. So once you get that hip rotation going, all right, and you have the power to stop it, okay, then the extension should just go with the rotation. Like I said, the left hip is coming back, which is going to pull the knee back. But at the same time too, you need to accelerate that. You need to add more force into the ground by actually extending the leg. And that's once again another power, a big power component. Now, if you look at one of the ground reaction forces study, high velocity pitchers and low velocity pitchers, and what's really interesting in that study is the low velocity pitchers' front leg force production was just a basic little hump, meaning they would land, the forces would kick in, and then they would die off. In the high velocity pitcher, there was two humps. When they would land, they would stabilize, and then it kicked up a bigger hump again because the force was increased, and that was the extension of the front leg. So that's what we want to do. We want to first stop the momentum and then quickly go into force production, which is adding more force into the ground, and that's at the moment before pitch release. All right, what do you think? You got anything on the front leg?
Yeah,
how the front leg works?
Yeah, just like Brent was saying, like it's got to be just right when that front leg hits. The force production has got to start pushing back in. I like to think of it as like the piston in a car. Like your front hip is firing, this hip is firing back, slamming the hips, and that's kind of how I think of it.
Right, and it's something that it's going to take a long time to really get good at. So don't get frustrated up front, because it's going to take a while to do really well. The other thing is all of our chest up drills in the 3X Pitching Velocity program were built to train how the front leg extends into pitch release and get you used to that extension, because that extension is also driving forward trunk tilt, which is critical in transferring energy to the arm. So those are great drills to work that front leg. Also, too, if you have the King of the Hill program that I developed, the 3X Velocity Development Kit, it has a ton of front leg drive drills with the plate by popping the plate with your front leg, which are really great in teaching you the speeds, the power, and the timing, the sequencing of the front leg. That's also awesome as well. But that was a great question. Of course, we like all questions around the lower half, but we still like all questions about performance enhancement, increasing velocity for pitching. And if you want more information on that, go to our YouTube channel, go to topvelocity.net, check out our camps, come down to our 3X Velocity camps. We'd love to have you down. And also keep asking questions, because we want to keep this going and keep providing all this good content for you guys. So if you have a question, go to Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, @TopVelocity, #PitchingTips. Ask your question @TopVelocity, #PitchingTips, and we're going to answer it on the next episode. So.
Boys. Yeah. Hold on, we them boys.